And then by the 16th, 17th pick, you'd rather actually trade out of it and get second round picks because you can pay them less. But there's always about 15 really special players, and The Athletic put up their 15, and, they put them in order of what they think are the best is Trevor Lawrence, Penei Sewell 2, 3, Jamar Chase, the receiver LSU, Zach Wilson, quarterback BYU 4, Kyle Pitts 5, left tackle for Northwestern, Rashawn Slater 6, Devontae Smith, wide receiver, 2 receivers from Alabama. And there's a list. I'm not going to read through it for a radio audience. But I've always felt this. Every draft, and it's only 2 or 3 players. So if you go to the last 4 drafts, just the top 10 players, there's a lot more busts than you think. Just the top 10 players of the last 4 drafts. I counted 12 guys who are busts or really disappointing. Some other guys are just fine, but not great. So there's very few guarantees in the first draft. And I think this draft has 3 players that will be stars regardless of how bad the coach is, regardless of how bad the quarterback is. I don't think Jamar Chase with a bad coach and a bad quarterback is a Pro Bowler. I think this draft has 3 players that can't miss. It doesn't matter where they go. They're Hall of Fame level talents. Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback from Clemson, I think is 6'6", big arm, moves. He reminds me of a more slender Justin Herbert at this point, although he wouldn't have said that a year ago. I think he's got big game experience, big arm. The knock on him is he hasn't been challenged much. Yes, he has. He's played good teams. He played Alabama more than once. You could have said that about Deshaun Watson. He was rolling over everybody too. You're talented or you're not. So I think he's number 1. The second guy I would say is the tackle for Oregon, Penei Sewell. Size, strength, reflexes. He was the best tackle. He just doesn't even look like defensive players. He doesn't look like anybody else on the field. I don't think he can miss. I just think they say his reflexes are that of somebody 25, 30 pounds lighter, length, size, feet, quickness. It doesn't matter where he goes. He could go to Detroit. He's a Pro Bowl left tackle. The third is Kyle Pitts, the tight end for Florida. He is 6'6". He just doesn't. Look at this. Nobody in college looks like that physically. He could go anywhere. He could go to a bad quarterback, and he's a 70-catch, 10-touchdown guy. Those 3 guys, they call him look at him. They call him a unicorn. He looks like a defensive end that runs. So I think Trevor Lawrence, Penei Sewell, Kyle Pitts cannot miss. Regardless of the situation, they're Hall of Fame level talents, multiple-year Pro Bowls. But it's interesting. Go to The Athletic, 100 days out. They got their top 15 picks. And, by the way, Mac Jones, the quarterback, Alabama, 40. Kyle Trask, quarterback, Florida, is 85. Mac Jones, quarterback, Bama, 40. Kyle Trask, 85. Doesn't matter where you go to school. The NFL doesn't care where you go to school. Can you play or not? And Kyle Trask for Florida's got a great offensive coach. He's got great weapons. They say he's the 85th best player. Not very athletic. All right, Tom Rinaldi's won 16 Emmys. One of the smartest guys in our business. Also, he'll be doing the Bucs and the Packers. We're going to break that down in what should be, it's really one for the ages. For all the years they played against each other, LeBron and Kobe rarely met. It's amazing how Rodgers and Brady just haven't met. And so it's like, we get one of these games. Isn't it amazing how few times, even, just regular season games. Tom Rinaldi next. Folks, a year ago, I wouldn't have considered myself a boot guy, but thanks to Tecovas in Austin, Texas, maybe I am. They've got leather goods, belts, travel bags, wallets, but it's those boots, men's and women's Western boots, timelessly styled, handsome. We're all going back out in 2021, right out of the box, feel stylish. Going to the office, going to a wedding, going out. Free shipping, always free shipping. And this is a company that is very confident in their product. Free exchanges and free returns. And you won't do either. Get a new pair, they'll shoot you straight. Don't like the color, send it back. Here's to a new year, and here's the new boots. Tecovas, Austin, Texas. Of course, a boot company should be in Austin, Texas. You think Austin, Texas, you should think of good food and good boots. Tecovas.com or find a retail Tecovas store near you.
This is the Herd Line News.
All right, I have a little treat for you, Colin.
Treat?
Yep. I know you like snacks. This is a good one. Dan Campbell was introduced by the Lions today as their new head coach this morning, and did he give us a delicious slice of football cliches? Let's take a listen.
This place has been kicked, it's been battered, it's been bruised, and I can sit up here and give you coach speak all day long. I can give you, hey, we're going to win this many games. I can't. None of that matters, and you guys don't want to hear it anyway. You've had enough of that, so excuse my language. All right? Here's what I do know, is that this team is going to take on the identity of this city, all right? And this city's been down, and it found a way to get up. All right, it's found a way to overcome adversity. All right, and so this team's going to be built on, we're going to kick you in the teeth. All right, and when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. All right, and we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right, and on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap. And we're going to get up, and then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right, that's going to be the mentality.
I don't know what I just watched. I don't even know.
It's so good. Listen, you have to forgive me just completely dismissing that as utter nonsense. But no, Dan, actually, I would love to hear how you're literally going to fix the Detroit Lions.
I'm not going to, I don't want to be negative. I'm a very optimistic person. But in this instance, I got nothing good to say here.
Listen, I'm a very realistic person. And I've seen what he did in Miami, which wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't what the Miami Dolphins needed.
All right.
He's never been a coordinator. I don't have high expectations for the situation.
Well, according to him, he just had 4 penalties because he bit 9 guys in the kneecap.
Listen, they frown on
even his
taking out
speech was penalized.
What is it? What did you tangibly say? Okay, yes, it's very fun to say and to gas up the fan base by talking about how tough you're going to be. But, what are you actually going to do?
By the way, speeches are an indication of presidencies and coaches. Adam Gase had a disastrous speech, not great. Stefanski had a great opening speech for Cleveland. He was good. Joe Judge, by the way, had a very good speech.
He did. It had a little
cliches.
bit of extras in it. But
that thing right there, his speech had 4 penalties in it.
That was a WWE introduction.
I got nothing. By the way, I got nothing against the WWE.
Nothing against it.
But that you don't get penalty flags in WWE.
Right. They want you to, they're hitting each other with chairs. I don't know. Listen, maybe it works out and we're wrong and make fun of us. I'm allowed to be wrong. I don't think I'm going to be, especially not in the first couple years, because while all that sounds great, you actually need to do physical things.
I don't even
tangible things to make changes.
I don't think it sounded great.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what Lions fans think. But
has Belichick ever said I'd bite you in the kneecap? I don't even know what that means.
Punch in the face and smile. Very. That's correct. I can't. Drew Brees' rib fractures and collapsed lungs were well documented this season, but apparently he was playing with more injuries than we knew about. His wife revealed on Instagram that he also played through a torn rotator cuff.
What?
And a torn fascia in his foot all year.
Wow.
That's pretty dramatic.
That is. I got tendonitis in my elbow. I almost called in sick this week. Good
you
Lord.
Had a rough go. Well, you're in PT right now, which is
I'm going again today. My left side of my body's all bruised.
Yeah, rehab is terrible. He missed 4 games with the rib fractures and collapsed lung, which we say as if that's nothing.
By the way, I cracked a rib. It's still sore. He cracked 11, played a month later.
He's playing, and he is getting hit with that injury.
It's incredible. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he did. I do not know how Drew Brees played.
Well, listen, obviously this was, we're assuming, going to be his last year. So
yeah.
Leave it all out on the field. Be a warrior. Bite off kneecaps. But this is very, very impressive. And I don't know how you physically actually do that. It's obviously way more mental. So Andy Reid and Sean McDermott know each other very well. Reid gave McDermott a coaching job with the Eagles back in 2001, and they spent a decade together in the organization. The two will now face off Sunday with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. And after seeing how impressive the Bills have been this season, Reid says he believes that McDermott deserves to be Coach of the Year. We've talked a little bit about Coach of the Year throughout the season, but we haven't really talked about it recently. The Fox Bets odds for Coach of the Year have Sean McDermott as the favorite at plus 100, Brian Flores plus 150, Kevin Stefanski plus 700, Ron Rivera plus 1,500, and Matt LaFleur at plus 1,600. I actually think the most deserving of it is Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I McDermott or Stefanski. I think Stefanski had more to overcome in the organization. Plus, I also think that McDermott has an unbelievable offensive coordinator, and Stefanski's doing a lot more lifting for his team. Nothing against the Cleveland staff, but I think Brian Daboll is considered the best OC in the game right now.
And Brian Flores obviously did an unbelievable job this year, but the Browns hadn't made it to the playoffs in 18 years, hadn't won a playoff game in how long? I don't know. I think that Kevin Stefanski not only overcoming more, just what the Browns have been for so long, for him to come in and turn it around, and Baker Mayfield is not that Baker Mayfield needed to turn it around,
but he had some. He was
legitimized him as a franchise quarterback in the league. Is really, really impressive.
Listen, if you live in Ohio State's always got a good coach. Cleveland's gone through 20. How good would you